I told you you could take a failing email campaign and use ChatGPT to tell you exactly what's wrong and how to fix it in under 30 minutes? Well, that's exactly what I did for one of our Smart Directory AI users. He had sent out an initial prospecting email to 3,500 businesses in the North Dallas local area. He got 772 opens, but only 2 replies, and he was stuck. He didn't know what to do next. So I showed him how to use ChatGPT not to write your emails, but to analyze them. And it gave me a complete breakdown of every place he could improve his results and a step-by-step action plan to fix it. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you the exact prompt I use, the full analysis ChatGPT provided, and how you can use the same strategy for any cold email campaign you're running. Plus, I'm giving you all the prompts for free. So if you're struggling with cold email, if you're not getting the replies you want, or if you just want to see how to use AI the right way to improve your marketing, well, then this video is for you. So let's get into it. All right, so I've got a little document here that I'm gonna share with you during this video. I'm gonna be covering all the things that you see here, so lots of great stuff you're gonna be getting. If you want the document, I just need a little favor from you. If you could do me a favor, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, if you could hit subscribe, if you could like this video, and if you could just leave a comment below, something like prompts or maybe some thoughts on the video, just leave any type of comment below and me or someone from my team will get you the link to this doc so that you have the prompts, all the breakdown and everything that I'm gonna cover today. All right, so I wanna kind of preface all of this by saying that the industry standard for cold email open rates is 5% or less. The reason I want you to remember that is because that is really crappy. And in most people, if they're getting a 5% open rate, they think that they're just crushing it. You know, they're killing cold email. But, you know, to me, those are really kind of poor results. We want to get a lot better results from the cold emails that we sent out. So right off the bat, you're going to see that this email that my student sent out, he sent it to 3,500 small businesses in the North Dallas area. And you'll see right off the bat, he got a 20% open rate and a 7% clicked rate, which is way above the industry standard. Yet he's reaching out to me and he's saying, hey, Tom, I don't think this campaign is doing very well, you know, because he only got 2 replies, you know, even though 772 people opened this thing and he got 239 people to click the link, he only got 2 replies, which is a 0.26% reply rate. So he reached out to me and he's like, what do I do? How do I fix this? And so, you know, instead of just fixing it myself, I thought I would show him how I would go about improving the performance. Now, I want to talk about the tech stack because you may be saying, well, man, how did we get a 20% open rate right off the bat, right? Like, and a lot of that is because of the tech stack we're using and the process that we're following. So let me go over that real quick. Then I'll get into the initial email that you see here. I'll get into the prompt and we'll start breaking this down and showing you exactly how to improve all these things. So remember, if you want this doc, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit subscribe, like, put prompts, or just leave a comment in the bottom and I'll get this to you. All right, so the tech stack that we're using is High Level, which is like an all-in-one marketing software platform. It does everything. It's your CRM, it's your bulk emailer. It helps you keep track of everything that's going on. You can use automations and create workflows and create multiple sequences of emails and all that stuff. So we use High Level for all that back end under the hood stuff. And then the actual process that we're following, the strategy that we're using is from my software, smartdirectory.ai. So just to kind of so all this sort of makes sense to you, I'm just going to tell you what that process is, because this is important. And I think it's something that not very many people talk about when they talk about cold email. So recently I spoke at the High Level big event in Dallas just a couple of weeks ago. They have their Level Up Summit. I was one of the breakout speakers there talking about this very strategy that I'm going to cover in this video, along with showing you how to optimize and improve those cold emails. And one of the other speakers there was Neil Patel. And I got to briefly talk to Neil. And one of the things that Neil said is that the last moat in business is your brand. And you may think, well, what the heck is he talking about there? Well, I want you to think about this. In 2025, AI is all the rage, right? And right now, today, small businesses, their emails are flooded. Their LinkedIn DMs are getting clobbered every day. Their phones ring off the hook with people trying to sell them AI services. So why in the world would any of those businesses listen to you? How are you going to stand out? And by the way, because of AI, this is not going to get easier. It's only going to get harder as more and more people get in and try to get their piece of this AI pie that is growing, exponentially every day. And that's what Neil means is like, well, the only thing you can lean on is your brand, meaning people have to want to pay attention to you. And the way that most brands do that is by building out a big brand, becoming a recognizable name, a celebrity, or spending a ton of money to build out this huge brand, right? But my guess is if you're a normal person like I am, when I started my agency and I started doing all this, I didn't have a big brand. I didn't have time to invest in building a big brand or the money or the resources to do it. So I started looking for a shortcut, a way that I could leverage all the benefits of a brand, but not have to spend all that time building up a brand. And so I took something that at the time was, kind of on the older side, and I just kind of twisted it around a little bit, made it new, and started using it to prospect. Now, that was about 2012. Since then, I've refined the process. I've built it out. I've even developed my own tech, Smart Directory AI, to make setting it up and implementing it super, super easy. But here's what the process is. So what I do is I set up a community resource website in the area that I want to target. Okay, so here's one that targets the Hawaii area. Now, you'll see this site looks great. It's got a lot of local Hawaii businesses on it. There's free listings, there's premium listings. Everything is broken down into categories up here in the top in the menu. It's got a blog, it's got a banner, blogs, all those kinds of things, right? So even notice the name, the Hawaii Thrive. Almost sounds like a government organization, right? Well, that is actually strategic. That's on purpose, because what I started doing was, instead of prospecting from a marketing agency, I started prospecting from this community resource website. So when I would reach out to businesses, instead of being the freelancer or the guy trying to sell them all this marketing crap that they're getting hammered from all angles, I was a fellow local business owner that was trying to get other local businesses exposure by building this community resource website. And I was giving all the businesses in Hawaii free listings, as many as I could get on there, just to help out. Now, it just so happens I also own a marketing company. And so this was like my conversation starter. So this made it possible for me to not be an unwelcomed person in their email or when I was calling, because business owners were actually interested in what I was doing and they were excited about it and they wanted to be a part of it. And so it really flipped prospecting on its head for me. Now, this method works so well that I was able to eventually just automate the whole process. So you can see here, this is a screenshot of a couple of emails and this process in action. So you can see this particular list. I sent out just over 1,000 emails. So 1,004 businesses were mailed. I got 97 people to say yes to my free offer, which is their free listing on my directory website. So I just emailed them and said, hey, you have a free listing on this website. I just want to make sure all of your business information is correct. Is this your correct name, address, phone number? If it is, just reply yes and let me know. That's all I did. And 97 people replied yes out of this 1,000. Out of those 97, when they replied yes, I then added them to a new automation that offered them a premium upgraded listing. And out of those 97, I got 16 people to take the upgrade offer. And when I took this screenshot, you'll see that 13 of them had already paid their invoice. And all of this happened automated via cold email. I never talked to any of these businesses. I just dropped a scraped list in and I ended up with 13 paid invoices. And that process is what has allowed me to do things like get a SaaSpreneur Platinum Award from High Level, which they give out for when you help local businesses implement High Level and you sell additional High Level services to local businesses. This isn't for promoting High Level or anything like that. This is actually using High Level with local businesses, the Platinum Award. There's only one award higher than this, the Diamond. I'm coming for that one soon. But anyway, so I tell you all this because you should be thinking about how are you reaching out to these businesses and why would they listen to you, right? That's one of the first big hurdles to overcome. If you can have a brand that gets attention, something like a directory site, or if you can build your own brand out, if you want to put in all the work to do that, you'll find that your initial outreach sequence becomes a lot easier just by having something that people want to be engaged with, right? So instead of their defenses being up because they think you're a marketing agency trying to sell them stuff, instead they're like, oh, what is this local directory? Oh, this looks like a good thing for the community. Oh, I can get behind that. Let's talk about that, right? And I'll talk a little bit about how I transition people from those free listings into paid clients a little bit later in the video. But I needed to tell you all that so you kind of understand what's going on here and why this initial email performance was kind of a concern, because although the directory site worked its magic, it got 772 people to open the email. It got 239 people to click. We only had 2 replies, which is an issue. So I'm going to show you how I broke this down and used ChatGPT to fix this. So here's the initial email that he sent out. This is basically just a template email. Now, one of the things that this person did that I would recommend is I never recommend just sending out template emails exactly as you get them. You should always take them and customize them, add some of your own personality, local flair to them. We use ChatGPT to do that. Makes it really, really easy. But that's neither here nor there. He went ahead and sent out just the plain default template email, which, as I told you before, still got amazing results, right? 772 opens, 239 clicks. I mean, that's pretty damn good. So how can we fix this? So here's what I did. So I have this prompt right here that I'm going to copy. And again, when you get this document, you will have access to this. So all you have to do is put prompt in the comments below, and me or someone from my team will send this to you. Or you can just look in the video description. It's there as well. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go over to a new ChatGPT window, and I'm just going to just put this prompt in there. Now you'll see there's a space here to put the email that you want to analyze. So this prompt basically says, look, I sent out this email. I sent it to 3,500 businesses in North Dallas. Here were my results. Here was the open rate. Here was the click rate. But I only got 2 replies. I want you to do me a favor. 1, analyze the email for tone, clarity, structure, trust, and conversion psychology. Give me specific actionable steps I can take to improve the open rate, increase replies and engagements, suggest new subject lines. Well, you'll see the whole thing in the doc, but there it is. So then we want to add the actual email. So whatever email that you have, you're just going to copy that. And you're going to just put this into the prompt where it says paste your email here. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm just going to click, go for it. And now ChatGPT is going to take that prompt. It's going to come back with some very actionable steps that we can do, right? So you can see it starts to break everything down. But what is more impressive about this is not only does it tell me like the email analysis and the structure, but it also gives me actionable steps to improve the performance. So I don't have to wonder, well, what should I be testing? What should I be doing? And it gives me real world examples based on the email, right? So, this is, this would have, I probably could, it's taken me years to learn good copywriting and how to write an email that gets opened. And ChatGPT literally spits out the same advice, if not better, recommendations and advice that I would give after studying copywriting and selling in print and all that stuff for years and years and years and years. So this is really, really great. You can see it even gives you all of these follow-up sequences, all of these things as well, and an action plan checklist. So let me go through some of this stuff and kind of talk about this in relation to cold email, because there are some basic things, right? That's the prompt. So remember, think about, why would people open your email in the first place? Who's it coming from? Is this viewed as a trusted source, or are you viewed as somebody just trying to sell them something, or do they not know you at all, right? So here are the 5 biggest levers to improve fast that ChatGPT gave me. Rewrite the subject line to sound local, personal, and curiosity driven. Use a human sender identity. So that email just came from, it was, I think, like support@thedirectorysite.com. So you really want your emails to come from a person, right? People buy from people. They don't buy from big, they prefer to buy from people. So lean into that. Send it from your name at, I would send it from Tom at, whatever your website is. Add clear benefits. Will feature your business at no cost. Create a 3 to 5 email follow-up sequence. Ensure domain health and deliverability before scaling sends. So these are the 5 biggest levers that told me to move. Now you may be thinking, well, Tom, I don't even have an email to send out. Like, I haven't sent it out yet. I'm just trying to make my email that I'm going to send out better. Or, maybe your open rates were low, but you got good clicks inside, or maybe you got good overall results, but still the open rates were low. So how do you adjust this based on what happens with your email? Well, I want to go over that real quick so you kind of have an idea of what you should be looking at and what you should be testing. So you want to look at your open rate, your reply rate, your click rate, and your deliverability. Okay, so here are the things based on what is off that you should be looking at to test or change. So if your open rate is low, then you want to look at your subject line, your sender name, the timing that you're sending your emails, which I will talk about in a moment. Another thing that you really want to look at is the quality of your list and your targeting of the people you're emailing. I want to talk more about this in a minute, because I think this is one of the most grossly overlooked areas of cold email, and it is a huge part of whether you're successful or not. So if your open rates are low, I would look at your list, your subject line, your sender name, your timing. Your reply rate, let's say that you're just not getting any replies. Well, let's look at the copy inside the email, the call to action, the tone of the email. If your click rate is low, then you want to look at link placement, trust, and formatting. Trust is a big one here that I'll talk about a little bit more in a second. And then deliverability. So how is the health of your domain? Are you using spam words like free and all this kind of stuff? Are you, is your domain warmed up, or is it a brand new domain that you just started sending emails from? So deliverability is really how many of your emails are hitting people's inboxes and not going to spam, right? And so we'll talk about that as well here in a minute. Now, just some higher picture thoughts on these things. Number 1, list quality is something almost no one pays attention to. Like, most people are just out there. There's a gazillion scraping tools on the market now. You can even use AI to scrape prospecting lists. Most people are just scraping willy-nilly and not spending any time considering, is this list that I'm scraping even valuable? Are these real businesses? Are these the type of businesses that I can help? Are these businesses that I have a realistic chance of actually turning into a paying client? Now, there are services out there that you can use to check your email list to make sure all your emails are valid and that all they're deliverable. That's important. Things like Never Bounce, places like that. But, don't just think that the bigger the list, the better. When it comes to cold outreach, it's really about the quality of the list, not the size of the list. You would be much better off if you had a list of only 50 businesses, but they were ones that you felt like you had a 90% chance of being able to turn into a client, because 1, they're in your area, you can make contact easily, they have a problem that you can fix. Like, it seems, they're not a big chain. Like those, like you'd be better off just targeting those 50 businesses and spending a lot of time following up and continuing to communicate with them than you would running a list of 3,500 through just a cold email campaign. So that's one, list quality and targeting. I want to talk about what this person did as well, because they sent out 3,500 emails before they stopped to think maybe this isn't working. I don't think that's a winning strategy. I would much rather you start small, and once you figure out that things are working, then you scale. That's the better way to go. So what I mean by that is, like, I would probably start by just running 100 businesses through my prospecting email and seeing what kind of response I get. Then I would tweak what I need to tweak, fix what I think I need to fix, and run another 100 through, see if it gets better, right? Once I know I have a winning subject line and a winning message, then we start rolling it out over and over and over, right? But a lot of people think that volume is going to fix that. Well, if you have a crappy subject line and a crappy message, the more businesses you send through, it's not going to fix it. You should spend time working on your message. Get the message right first, then start worrying about volume. So in the beginning, focus on, 100 at most, maybe a couple hundred as you're running through and seeing, like, are my open rate good? Are my replies good? Are my click rates good? And then when you see, like, yes, this is all working, then you scale that up, right? But I would do smaller testing in the beginning and start working up to the bigger stuff. Now, all is not lost with this, because we did have 772 people that opened those emails. So because we use a tool like High Level and smartdirectory.ai, we can take those 772 people that opened our email, segment them off, and we can start communicating with them with more follow-up, because we know they're interested. They open the email, maybe they click the link, right? They're not just a cold lead anymore. We can do a lot more targeted follow-up with them, maybe give them a call, those types of things. Then we can make some changes to our email, run the rest of those emails back through and see if we get more. And we can just keep doing that. Anyone who opens or clicks a link, we move over to this new sequence where we do more follow-up, and everybody else we just keep running through and until we've gotten the maximum volume out of that, right? So list quality, targeting, remember size is not everything, relevance, accuracy, segmentation, source, those are all things that are super, super important with your list. So if you're getting really poor results, look at your list first, because again, a lot of people are giving no thought to their list. They're just making random things. I did a training not long ago where I just went through my day and I wrote down 9 businesses that I saw throughout my day. Like I saw this plumber truck, just 9 businesses I saw as I was going through my day. I ran them through my prospecting email and I got a reply, because those businesses were highly relevant, right? They were accurate. I knew they were good potential clients. So the size of the list, is not as important as the quality of the list you're doing. Now, let's talk a little bit about trust and visuals, because I think this is another thing that people really overlook and don't give a lot of thought to. You're a real human. The people you're emailing are real humans. Remember that. Stop thinking that a real human is just going to open up an email and start handing you cash. Do you do that? Like if you get an email and it looks all sketchy, do you just be like, oh yeah, let's click that link and buy this thing? No, right? Even when people are trying to, I know for me, even when I'm out at the mall, and there's those guys that clean your tennis shoes, even when they say like, hey, let me clean your shoes, it's free, I still say no sometimes because I don't want to deal with it, right? Even though it's free. Like, what am I saying no to? It's free. But that's just how people are. I'm that way, and a lot of people are that way too. So even if you are trying to break the ice by giving away something for free, don't be surprised when people don't respond, because people are naturally skeptical. Remember in the beginning when I told you all those business owners are getting hammered in their emails, their LinkedIn DMs are full? That makes people skeptical. So know that the days of just sending an email and getting massive response are gone. It's going to take you thinking about, why would they trust me? Why would they open this? Why would they pay attention to me? And then also, like, we need to follow up continually because chances are our first time around isn't going to work out that well. So, trust and visuals. What do I mean by that? Add a real human voice, right? Maybe put your picture in the email. Use your name. Hey, this is Tom from whatever your website is, right? Maybe talk, always be talking about what they want, not about you. So this is kind of the catch-22 of this. Like you can't talk about yourself, but you still have to build a connection. So how do you do that? Well, you do that by focusing on them and bringing value to them. So, hey, I'm Tom. I started this local community resource website because I'm looking to get more local businesses more exposure, right? Like I'm talking about them. What do you get out of this? Well, you get a free listing, you get free things, right? And then we can add some of our personal things after that, but always focus on them first and kind of sprinkle in things about you as you go. So here's some tips for trust and visuals that ChatGPT gave me when I did this the first time. And then here's the other big thing here, the follow-up sequence. So again, the days are gone when you can just shoot an email out and people are just going to send you loads of money. It doesn't work like that. So if you're holding on to that, I'm sorry, but it's going to take a little more effort. But that's where automation and all the amazing stuff that AI can do comes in. Because I want you to look at this. So inside of our directory software. So here's our Smart Directory AI software, which actually lives inside of High Level. So one of the great things about High Level is the automation. So look, I'm going to click over here on automation and I'm going to show you, here are our Smart Directory AI workflows. These are just the outreach workflows, right? And so each of these workflows has multiple emails in it that are set to go up, the first one, and then it waits 2 days, and the next one, right? And all of these this is a whole automated sequence. And then based on what the person does, it moves them to these other things. So if they claim their listing, it pushes them into this premium upgrade push, which again is another, SMS messages and emails, all built out to continue to make touch points, talk about the offer, get them to sign up, and then they get moved to these other things as well based on their behavior. So this allows us to automate consistent follow-up without annoying people that aren't responding to our emails. And of course, all of this stuff can be edited and adjusted as well. So look, automation, High Level, Smart Directory AI makes this stuff easier than ever. Like, we don't have to do all this stuff manually. We can just set this up. And, for our Smart Directory AI users, we have built all this stuff out for them already. So they don't even have to set it up. They just run the systems that we have out there. And this just runs in the background, taking cold email lists and finding people that'll raise their hand and be like, yes, I'm interested in this. I'm interested in that, right? So follow-up sequence, using automation, using software to do that. Very, very important in today's day and age. Here's a few tips for best practice: 4 to 5 follow-ups over 10 to 14 days. Alternate between value, right? Now, here's another really big advantage of having a directory site, because look, we can follow up. Like normally, what are you trying to do when you're following up with a potential customer? Hey, just bumping this up in your inbox. Hey, just wanted to put this to the top of your messages. Hey, just checking in on this. Boring, horrible, right? But because we have a directory site, we can follow up with local info. Hey, did you see this news that's going on in the blah, blah, blah area? Hey, have you seen this business that we helped right here in town do this, this, and this? We can also follow up with events, FAQs, all kinds of stuff, and gentle reminders. And it allows us to keep the tone friendly and we don't have to be desperate, right? All great things here. Now, look, if you're pretty confident that your list quality is good, if you're confident that your follow-up sequences are working, like those would be two things I would look at first. Like, is my list good? Do I have follow-up sequences in place? Then you can start looking at your emails. Okay, I know my list is good. I've got follow-up here, but I'm still having kind of, not the results I want, like this example where the person's getting 20%, but only 2 people replied. So then we start looking at subject lines, the first line hooks. Here's some tips for those that you'll get in this doc. The body copy and our call to action, okay? Now, once we feel good about our message, like, hey, we got a good subject line that opens, the body copy is getting replies and clicks, our call to action is working. Well, now what should we focus on? Well, now we want to start looking at deliverability and technical setup. Now, I see so many people start with this, but that's putting the cart before the horse, okay? Once you know you have a great list, once you know your lists are good, once you know your message resonates and you're getting results, then you want to get into as many inboxes as possible. That's where deliverability and technical setup come in. So now we can start looking at, well, what is our sender domain score? What is our SPF, our DKIM, our DMARCs? Let's get all that stuff set up. Is this warmed up right? Like, let's avoid spamming phrases. Let's do all these things. Let's limit how many we're sending every day so we don't look like a bulk sender, right? Let's use tools like Mail Tester, Glock apps, or Instantly AI's warm-up reports, right? So I see a lot of people try to do all this in the beginning, which, yes, you want to get the basics in place, but don't go down the technical rabbit hole here until you have a winning message. Once you know your subject line works, your email opens, you're getting results, now we want to make sure we're getting in as many inboxes as possible. And then we also want to test things like personalization and timing. Can we, make the emails even more personal? Are there better days during the week to send them? One of the nice features that High Level is getting ready to roll out is a feature where it actually tells you the best time based on your opens for you to be sending your emails. So it's very specific, and AI can do that for you. So timing, all those things. And I even put a prompt in here optimized for Claude if you use Claude and you don't use ChatGPT. So again, if you would like to get your hands on this document, if you haven't, subscribe to the channel, hit like, put prompts in the chat. Me, someone from my team will get you this document. You can also find it in the description of this video as well. Also, if you're interested in checking out the tech stack that I went over in this video, there's a free trial of both High Level and also a free trial of my software, Smart Directory AI, so you can play around with the tech stack and see how this process works. This directory approach really changed the prospecting game for me, and I think it's going to be even more powerful and more effective in the coming years with AI, because right now, yes, a lot of people are using AI, but a lot of people don't know how to use AI to make money for their businesses, so they don't know how to use AI to generate revenue. So there's a huge gap that someone like you could fill by being the person in your local area that knows how to use AI to increase revenue and efficiency in someone's business. The thing is, there's a lot of people can do that because AI makes it very simple to do. So you have to be able to stand out and get attention and have actual conversations so that you can present what you're offering to people. Like, you just have to be able to get an appointment, which is going to be more and more difficult in the coming days, months, and years. So the best way I found for a normal person like myself to get those conversations going in the easiest way possible is the directory method that I kind of outlined. So whether you use Smart Directory AI or not, I would hope that you would just give the directory strategy a shot. Now, one of the things that's a little different about what we do versus other people is a lot of people, when they go to make a directory site, they make the directory site, they spend all this time trying to make it look pretty and perfect, and then they have to try to figure out how to get traffic to the directory site. But my strategy requires no traffic because we initiate all the activity in the beginning. So what we do by adding the businesses and then letting them know they have a listing, we're initiating all that initial activity. Now, over time, the site gets traction, it starts to get traffic, all that. But in the beginning, we're just doing it ourselves, which allows us to sell things like AI marketing services and stuff like that on the back end. Because once we set up their free listing, we just ask them if we can hop on a courtesy call to go over everything. We go over their listing, make sure it's all correct. And then at the end, we just say something like, hey, when I was setting up your listing, I noticed that you don't have a chat widget on your website. Did you know AI can be on your website 24/7, answering questions and even booking appointments? We're actually running a free 30-day trial right now. Would you be interested in that? So it makes all that process really, really easy. So You can find all the details of that stuff down below. I also have a link to a free course I put together called the Smart AI Launch Lab, where I show you how anyone can get an AI business like I just outlined off the ground in 72 hours. So you can sign up for that below as well. All right, look, that is it for this video. I really thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, like, subscribe, put prompts, or just leave a comment below this video. I'll get this document to you that I shared so you have all that information. Make sure to check this channel periodically. I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos like this. Hope you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next video. Stay safe. Practice aloha.